I think TuTu Atwell could have a breakout year this year. And it's maybe a little bit cheap because he really didn't do anything last year. So anything can be seen as a breakout from not playing a single game last year, being injured early on. But the expectations for TuTu were so high coming in, being their first overall pick in the second round last year. The concerns about his size and that rearing its ugly head and getting injured in preseason because of that size and not able to take a beating like so many people were concerned on. We saw him at OTAs. We saw him at minicamp. You know, Ryan Anderson and I were there and saw him, and we can see some of the comfort level that he has gained in being in the system year two, being around his teammates, being around Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay, being around the great Cooper Kupp, who is probably one of the best on-field coaches at the position. And so I think he really has the ability to break out. And in my opinion, because I said from day one when he was drafted, the expectation that I had of him was not a 7, 8, 900 yard receiver, 8 touchdowns. My expectation was one big play a game. And even that might be a stretch, but one impactful play a game. And even if that means he has 8 snaps, and one of those snaps leads to a 20-yard first down. One of those snaps leads to a big third down conversion on 3rd and 13. One of those snaps leads to a 50-yard bomb for a touchdown. Then that was my expectation, because that's kind of what they drafted him to fit into this offense. Not be wide receiver 1, not be wide receiver 2, not even be wide receiver 3, to be a thing to stretch the field, to open things up, and be that one player. So I think this season, Jamal, in 2022, he will get to that level, which for me would be a breakout, because he'll meet those expectations that I had for him when he was drafted.
Ryan, I completely agree. And you know, spot on as usual and as always. And I think the key for me is, obviously, as a network, we saw him in OTAs. Ryan Anderson talked so much about just his knowledge of the playbook, him anticipating breaks, anticipating variations in plays, and just an overall comfort level that we didn't see last year. I think the other huge piece of it is that a slot has certainly opened up. We still don't know what's going to happen with OBJ. Obviously, losing Woods, you know, there's still a need for verticality at wide receiver 3 and wide receiver 4. And I think, you know, now it feels like a very long time ago, but TuTu Atwell in many ways fits a necessity in the Sean McVay offense that, due to his injury last year, was actually filled, at least in the first quarter to a third of the season, by Deshaun Jackson. Everyone forgets Deshaun being a Ram. It feels like so long ago. He had that huge game against the Bucks early in the season with that breakout touchdown. And, you know, that every once in a while, that huge home run threat is a real necessity, especially when you had more underneath guys like Kupp and Woods doing their bread and butter. And now Kupp obviously is going to continue to do Cooper Kupp things. Allen Robinson becomes more of an intermediary guy who can do a little bit of everything, but you still need that variation on the outside to keep defenses off balance. And I think for those reasons, it's going to be very high impact. I think he could potentially have a 25 catch, but 500 yard season off of just 25 catches and 4 or 5 touchdowns. And that would be a magnificent year. So he definitely has the capability to make a huge impact.